the office, street visitor. So I bought her from Evan in a puppy. Now this is Jonathan, and this time of the year Jonathan is very busy shearing sheep. He's a professional sheep shearer, so he could be doing over 200 every day. In the summer season he do 15, 20,000. So shearing is something you learn from a young age. Now you have different breeds. See the black one there, that's a different type of sheep. It's a Suffolk. So the wool from the Suffolk go for making black sweaters, or you can have white Suffolks as well. So there's like 1,000 different breeds of sheep throughout the world. So Jonathan now will show us first how we do it by hand. We were the last place in Ireland to get electricity in the year 1977. And it was 1986 when we bought the first electrical machine. It was the cost.
Wow.
Now, when I came home from school in the evening, we had about 3,500 sheep on the farm. That was our job, shearing the sheep by hand. We would do about 20 in the evening. Full day you do 50 or 60, and that was hard work. Now, this is another different breed he has. This is a Cheviot, the one I mentioned. Suffolk, this is a Cheviot. Cheviot sheep are big sheep, and they have soft wool. It's hard to open it, it's soft wool. And that wool go for sweaters. So different breeds of sheep produce different type of wool. Every type of wool goes for a different purpose. Now, we got electricity 77, it was 86 when we bought the first electrical machines, the cost. And I remember the first electrical machine cost about $2,500. Last year we replaced 2 of them, and they only cost about $1,100 each.
Oh.
So as we know, computers, televisions, all those things have come down, not gone up in price. Now the skill of shearing is very much like you go to a physiotherapist or chiropractor. They have to make us feel calm and relaxed before they carry out any manipulations. And it's the same with the shearing of the sheep. Now this is a mom to a baby lamb. Has she 1 or 2, John? 2. So she has 2 baby lambs. Now she's a big sheep, and Jonathan restrained her by 1 leg because she would kick out at you.
Yeah.
So, and remember, they're a lot harder to shear because they have no horns to hold on to. So now he'll switch over to the electric, which he uses professionally. And the Guinness Book of World Record for sheep shearing was set in Donegal, which is the northwest of Ireland. A couple of years ago, a young man in his early 20s shore almost 1,000 sheep in 9 hours, 987 or something in that region. Now, you see when he's shearing the sheep, he always keeps rotating and moving her around. That's the way he keeps her calm and relaxed.
What size blade is that for?
Now, what happens then with the wool, it goes into big bags and it goes on to the United Kingdom for washing and processing. And there it's washed, cleaned, processed, graded and measured. And then based on its micron readings, it goes for different purposes. That wool is ideal for sweaters. Sweaters, soft wool, close to your skin. Carpets, coarse wool, you're standing on the carpet all the time. So on the sweater, it's close to your skin. And the coarse wool, the carpet, you're standing on it. So different type of wool. Now you cannot really wash wool yourself, it will disintegrate. So that's why it goes to the United Kingdom to the big washing plants. And there the wool of Ireland, England, Wales and Scotland come together to Leeds, Bradford and Sheffield. And then during the winter months, a lot of wool comes from Australia and New Zealand to the United Kingdom and is washed and cleaned there. So you may go into a shop and see a sweater made from merino wool. That's how it comes to this region. It comes for washing to the UK and then remain on and is made into sweaters. Now, when I go up here on the farm, for that amount of wool, you've got $8, $9. 3 years ago, you got about $3. Last year, you got $1. Today, you'll get nothing. Zero. So we have all the last year's wool and this year's wool, it's only taking up sheds at the moment. So it may go up, and there's less demand for wool at the moment.
What?
Worldwide? Yeah.
Wow.
It's not Ireland, it's worldwide. Australia, the price is still good, with the farmer here last week. Now the first thing Jonathan will do, he'll give her medication. First of all, like a cough bottle mixture, and this kills the parasite liver fluke. And liver fluke thrive here with the wet climate. With this hot weather, we have good weather for the past number of weeks, so there's no problem with liver fluke. Get a lot of rain and it thrives. It's a parasite that thrives in the grass. And then, last but not least, you'll also give them a vaccination. That's very important. And that's against ticks, against other type of diseases, pneumonia, etc. So he give them that, same as you will get a flu vaccination. Same procedure. And last but not least, he will apply his identification to the farm, to the sheep. Every farm are different colours. So those are Jonathan's sheep, and he put red on their pole. We put red on their backside, Evan put green on their pole. So every farmer, different colours, different identification. Now, you can see when the sheep are short, they're waterproof. If they were not waterproof, they'd get pneumonia. So the closer you go to the skin, there is the lanolin, L-A-N-O-L-I-N. Lanolin is the wool oil, the wool fat, and that's what keeps the sheep dry in water. Sweet. Once a year. Again, when I was a child, we did the shearing 2 times a year. There was money for the wool. Now we do the bare minimum once a year. And there's like 1,000 different breeds of sheep throughout the world. 1,000 different breeds. That's a lot of different breeds of sheep. So he shows that wool there. Now you'll see it's like falling apart. That's high quality wool.
Oh my goodness, it is.
And then, see, lovely and soft. And when it's washed and cleaned, it loses about 30-40% of its size. So you could like pull it apart, and that's your sweater wool, or high quality wool blankets. Yeah, lovely soft wool. Now the yellow you see, or the lemon colour, that's the lanolin. And the lanolin is the wool oil, the wool fat. That's what protects the sheep. And that lanolin is extracted and it goes on to the pharmaceutical industry for the making of cosmetics and hand creams. So when you go into a quality cosmetic store, there's some percent of lanolin in all the cosmetics. It's the setting agent of the cosmetics. And then there's a local lady in Kenmare, a lot of you stopped in Kenmare. She's the only pharmacist in the whole of Ireland, and she makes different type of hand creams from the lanolin of the wool. This one is an intensive hand cream. It's ideal for dry hands or cracked feet. And then there's the next one, there's a moisturising cream you can use on your face or hands. Very soft. Pass that one around there. Now, we never need to use any of those creams when we're working with the wool because our hands are always moist, they never crack. And then the third one then is made of the calendula flower, and anything that's made of calendula flower, it's ideal for any types of cuts or burns. If you burn your hand, or for psoriasis. And the last one is made of the chamomile or chamomile flower, and that's excellent for skin problem, eczema, or you can use it for the sting of a wasp or nettles, any of those problems. It's excellent. So anything that's made with natural products and the local flowers, they're very good healing elements in them. And some of you interested, I met a local lady recently, she came up with a new idea. She makes soap. A lot of people make soap nowadays, but you wrap it in wool, Cheviot wool. And when you use the soap comes through the wool. Now, we know if we have a wool sweater and wash it, it will shrink. But she wants this wool to shrink, because if it didn't shrink, you'd be left with no soap and a big piece of wool. So as you use the soap will get smaller, and so will the wool. I'll pass it around. She do it by felting. And then another farmer that milk the sheep, they make sheep cheese. Sheep cheese very mild, no comparison to goat's cheese. Goat's cheese very strong, sheep cheese very mild. So, if anyone wants to buy a handmade sweater, it takes about 50 hours of work. And farming in Ireland is a big industry, and if you come back 20 years from now, there'll be a lot less farmers that won't survive. And this is a family farm, I'm the 7th generation, going back about 150 years.
Wow.
So farming is very important for Ireland. A lot of people going on to Dingle, fishing and farming, big industry in Dingle as well. So we wouldn't survive only for you to visit or to the farm. And thank you very much for being here this afternoon. And if you need to wash your hands, there's washrooms outside the buildings here. There's 4, they all have hot and cold water, and there's 4 where the touring coach is parked as well. And feel free to look around. So if you want to talk to any of the dogs, they'll love your attention. And so everybody with Declan, 15 minutes, 2 o'clock, return to your touring coach in the coach park, which is on